Shalom Aleichem, Parshas Ba'aloisecha Tafshin Pei Daled. So I think most people have heard what we're going to say today, but I don't think you can hear it enough. Mitzad Echad, Mitzad Sheni, there'll be some. We'll try and tie in a few more things as well. But the goal is really to give over what I understand Chassidus to be, which is what it's really what the Lubavitcher Rebbe was Machadish. And to the best of my understanding, it's quite vastly different from the regular take on Yiddishkeit. It's Chiddush. It's a big Chiddush. Okay, so the pasuk or the Chumash begins, "Vaydaber Adonai Moshe Leimu Daber Aharon Martu Elav Ba'aloischa es haneros elmu pnei hamenorah," light the lights towards the face of the menorah. Yeah, Shivas haneros, and they will light the seven candles. V'yas kain Aaron, and Aaron did so. Elmu pnei menorah, to the face of the menorah. Ha'el he lit up the menorahs. Ka'ashed tziva Adonai es Moshe, as Hashem was Mitzaveh Moshe. So we really, I want to. There's a question that I want to ask, which is in the Mission Avos, we introduce Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai's 5 Talmidim. Okay, but Elohim, Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananya, Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel, Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch. Okay, he used to count their shevach. Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus bore sud she'einoi ma beitipa. Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanus was a closed cistern who didn't leave, never lost a drop. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananya, Ashrei Yeladatoi, happy is his mother, the one who gave birth to him. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen Chosid, this is important for us. Rabbi Yossi HaKohen was a Chosid. Rabbi Shimon ben Nasanel, Yerechait, Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, Mayan HaMizgaber. Okay, so Rabbi Yossi was a Chosid. And later on, a few lines later, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai tells the Talmidim to go out, and he asks them to work out what is the best path, the straight path that a man should be davik to. And everyone says a different thing. So Rabbi Eliezer omer ayin tova, Rabbi Yeshua omer chaver tov, Rabbi Yossi omer shochen tov, Rabbi Shimon omer haroes anoilad, he sees what will be born, like he anticipates what will be. Rabbi Elazar omer leiv tov. Okay, so Rabbi Yossi HaKohen says shochen tov, a good neighbor. So somehow, if he's a chosid and he says shochen tov somehow must include all of Chassidus. So we're going to try and understand that kesher of Rabbi Yossi's remark of shochen tov to the inyan of Chassidus Bichlal. What is Chassidus? And we're understanding Chassidus not as this kind of, this cultish thing that happened in Yiddishkeit. The way that we understand Chassidus is that it is Yiddishkeit. It was his chadshus of Yiddishkeit. It wasn't just another path. It was his chadshus of Yiddishkeit, of the essence of Yiddishkeit, what Yiddishkeit really is. So Rashi says over there in the Chumash, when it says Vayaschein Aaron, Rashi says Vayaschein Aaron, Lahagid Shivchoi Shel Aaron, to tell you the praise of Aaron, Shaloi Shina, that he didn't deviate, he didn't change, meaning he didn't change the halacha. He lit the candles as he's meant to light them. So the way that it was explained is that imagine lighting the candles in the Kodesh. As a big tzaddik, what kind of Ava and Yira would be bouncing around inside the Yid, to the point where it could potentially actually be mafriya, the Maisa mitzvah. It could actually stop you. It could prevent you from doing the mitzvah as it's meant to be done. It's a very fine, precise avodah. You have to make the wicks perfectly and arrange everything exactly how they're meant to be. And you can imagine a man burning with love and fear of God. He just wouldn't be able to do it. You just it would just be too overwhelming to be able to do such a delicate action. So the shevach of Aaron was that in this situation, he was able to put to the side all his love, all his fear, his godly love and fear, that in this very, very, very one-off unique situation was going to disturb the actual and upset the actual Maisa mitzvah. He put all of that to the side and just did the mitzvah according to the halacha. Now, that's the shevach of Aaron. Why is that a shevach of Aaron? So from here we learn the difference between a tzaddik she'eina gamur and tzaddik gamur on a kind of very academic level. So a tzaddik gamur in the Tanya is a man who has gone so beyond any semblance of himself that there's hardly a man left there anymore. There's hardly a person there. It's just elikus. It's just a piece of meat with godliness flowing through. There is absolutely no interruption whatsoever. He's completely transparent. So just like when you're looking through a window and you're looking at a view, yeah, you're not in any way cognizant of the window. So too by the tzaddik, when you're looking at the tzaddik, you shouldn't be cognizant of the tzaddik. Is the tzaddik a man? He's as much a man as glass is a wall. In that he's a man, but is glass a wall? I mean, it only functions on a very different level to an actual wall. It wouldn't be very helpful having glass walls in your house. I actually went to a house like that one time in Jerusalem where everything was glass. It was very strange. You just looked the whole way through. I mean, obviously the bedrooms weren't like that, but it was a very weird thing. Like you can't have walls made of glass because that's not what walls are also meant to block what's going on from the other side, not just to delineate. So the tzaddik gamor, there really isn't much of a man. So who's having the love and fear? Because we know love and fear are products of your sense of self. If you don't have any sense of self, then how can you love? That's the term, I love you. If there's no me, like there's a famous phrase in Chabad Hasidus, which is Yesh mi she'oiv. There is the one that loves. As in, if there's no me, then there's no love. It's not like calculus. If there's no me, there's still equations and there's still mathematics, there's still science. But without me, there's no my love. So love and fear, the two primary emotions, are a manifestation, are an expression of my own selfhood. So I suppose the question now turns on its head. How comes Aaron, who was a tzaddik gamor, how could he have love and fear? If there's no person there, if he's literally just like a transparent piece of glass, so one moment. If he's literally just a transparent piece of glass, then who's having the love? So the tzaddik she'eina gamor, who's mamash very much a person, a very, very elevated person, he has love and fear exclusively for God. All of his emotions are directed to God. If you ask him like what he feels about the football, he'll be like, don't really care. He doesn't care about anything. Doesn't care about the car he drives. As long as it gets into shul, he doesn't care about the house he lives in, as long as his wife's happy. He doesn't care. He doesn't have any love and fear for any things of this world. His love and fear is exclusively dedicated to the Rebbeinu Shalom. He loves Hashem, he fears Hashem. So he couldn't put those emotions aside when it comes to lighting the menorah. He's a human being experiencing his emotions for God. How can you put your own emotions to the side? You'd have to stop the act. It's a natural experience of the person in the act. Whereas the tzaddik gamor, the complete tzaddik, his emotions are l'shem shemaim, meaning that the reason why he has godly emotions is that he is commanded by Hashem to have godly emotions. So they're not really his emotions, they're really Hashem's emotions, because there isn't really a man there. So the shevach of Aaron, the reason why Aaron is praised is because in this crazy, weird situation where a man's personal love and fear would share the Maaseh Mitzvah, he was able to put it to the side, and that was a revelation of the fact that he was at the highest level, where even his love and fear was l'shem mitzvah. It wasn't his love and fear. He was loving and fearing because that's the mitzvah. The guy who's lower than Aaron, the tzaddik she'eino gamor, his love and fear is of him. They're his love and fear. So he wouldn't be able to put that to the side. So that's the shevach of Aaron. It's important to remember that Aaron is a Kohen, yeah? And a Kohen is mitzad chesed. Levi is mitzad gevura, and a Kohen is mitzad chesed. So this is also miramis to the inyan of a chosid. This is the madrega of chosid. Chosid being the highest of all madregas, and the madrega that Hashem saved for the Baal Shem Tov until the end of days. This is the madrega of Mashiach. Yeah, the level of chosid is by shaykh to our generation. So we've answered up this beautiful idea now of like, so it was the shevach of Aaron was showing the shevach of Aaron vayas chein, that he wasn't shinoi, that he wasn't mashana the halacha, was because he was so exalted that his love and fear wasn't of him, it was a shem mitzvah, and therefore when it was in this weird situation, it was gonna share the Maaseh Mitzvah, you can put it to the side. So what's the inyan of the Maaseh Mitzvah? So for this we have to backtrack now and understand the chiddush of Hashem, because we speak always of Hashem's qualities. Even his infinity is a quality. He's infinite, he's not finite. He's big, he's not small. He's kind, he's not cruel. He's wise, he's not foolish. Yeah? He's wealthy, he's not poor. He has all of these are qualities. Yeah, some of them are more kind of gufni, some of them are more physical, some of them are more, or let's say some of them are more elevated, some of them are more lower. Like his infinity would probably be considered his highest quality. And then his wisdom is also a very high quality. And then his kindness is a little bit lower. And then his malchus, you'd say, is probably even lower than that. His desire to reign, or his ability to be the king, however you want to describe that. But all of these are his qualities. The actual chiddush, the real chiddush of everything which is God, is that he is. The fact that there is as opposed to there isn't, that is the real chiddush. And you can't say anything more about that. There's levels to wisdom. There's even levels to infinity. There's levels to everything. There's levels to kindness. There's levels to strength and power. But to just being, there is no levels. You either are or you aren't. And that's the foundation that Hasidus is built on, is staying cognizant of the fact that Hashem is. And at that point, you can't even call him infinite. You can't even call him infinite. You can't say anything. All you can say is yes. Chain. Chaf nun. He is. Now that is the relationship of this world to him. Why is this world so close to him? What's the chiddush of this world? And that's really asking what's the chiddush of Maisa, of the Maisa mitzvah. The Maisa mitzvah is simply yes or no. You did it or you didn't do it. Even the idea of doing the mitzvah b'di'evid is still the idea of having done the mitzvah. It's just simply yes or no. The Maisa mitzvah is yes or no. And that is exactly reminiscent, I suppose, or similar to the essence of the Ribono Shel Olam, that he is. So the deepest thing we can say about Hashem, the truest thing we can say about Hashem is that he is. And that is exactly the same as the Maisa mitzvah. It is or it isn't. But when we do it, it is. So Aaron did this mitzvah according to the exact level of the Maisa. He did it according to the details of the mitzvah. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said, what's this like? What's this for us? It's nice. You've explained to me now the difference in the Tzaddik Gamor and the Tzaddik She'eino Gamor, but how's that relevant to us? And he explained that this is now our situation, that we are in, on an outward level, we are in a very lowly situation. We are so distracted. We are so caught up in so many things. Our love and fear has been hijacked by the marketeers and by the advertisers and by all the things of this world in a way that it has never been done in the past. Yeah, no one was hijacking our love in the way they're hijacking it in this generation. Maybe our fear was hijacked by the king and the governor and stuff like that, but definitely our love was not hijacked in the way it's hijacked in this generation. And our fear as well is hijacked in the way of, the advertising agencies making us, self-conscious and worried about missing out and losing out, all these, and feeling inferior to people, etc. So our love and fear has been hijacked. So where's our love and fear? There would be no situation where you and I would be unable to perform a Maisa mitzvah because of a burning love and fear. That just doesn't exist by us. There could be no situation where we would actually not be able to put on the tefillin because we were just bouncing out of our heads. I told you that story about that guy in LA who told me he took some special drug, and for like 3 weeks he could hardly speak Kriya Shema because of the tears that were pouring down. Yeah, that could only be brought on by some kind of drug. But anyway, by us, that's not how it is. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe said this is an amazing schus, because to put aside anything like that, not that we're meant to put it aside, but any experience that we're getting from the mitzvah, there's some level of self involved in that, some kind of level of personal satisfaction. But now he said in this final generation, we're able to put aside all of the ulterior motives. We don't have to put aside any Ahavah, but we can put aside our desire for meaning, our desire for connection, we can put aside all of the desires and just do the Maisa mitzvah, which is an incredible level. Now, that doesn't mean that we should be putting aside our desire for connection, our desire to serve. But we're in this place where we're actually able to put those things aside. And that means that we can get connected to the actual Maisa mitzvah. Just the Maisa mitzvah at the level of chen or loy. The level of chen meaning, yes, I did the mitzvah. If we can touch that level of just doing the mitzvah and being cognizant, so to speak, or connected to that very foundational level, the ultimate foundational level of just yes or no, and making it yes, then we're touching the essence of the Ribono Shel Olam. That's the actual Ma'aser Mitzvah according to its detailed parameters, and the very existence of the Creator are absolutely bound up with each other. And that's the reason why there can be a dira b'tachtonim, and there can't be a dira in any other of the worlds. Because this world shares in the essence of God, whereas all the other worlds share in the qualities of God. The qualities of God are not him. They're his qualities. Just like your qualities are not you. They're your qualities. But what about you, the person, the you? That's the essence. That's the Ribono Shel Olam. And that is in the world of Ma'aser, only in the world of Ma'aser. See, the higher worlds are worlds of Kavanah. So the world of Yetzirah, that's the world of emotions. The world of Bria, that's the world of the Moichin. The world of Atzilus, that's the world of Ratzon, if that you can call that a world. So the ultimate, I don't even want to call it connection, because it's not connection, it's deeper than connection. It's the ultimate oneness with God exists exclusively in this world, because this world is a definite yes. It just is. The Ma'aser Mitzvah of this world is. And that's what it says that's what Rashi's, that's what the Pasuk says. Vayas Cain Aaron. Vayas, and he did so. Cain is this idea, is meramis to this binary concept of it just is. Now, if we can connect to this level of, we've spoken about it so many times, and this is basically all I speak about nowadays, that just as a tangentially, when we can connect to that level of our relationship with our wives, that there's the concept of the marriage, which is binary. It is or it isn't. If we're married, it is. If we're not married, it isn't. If we're married, it is. There's nothing more you can say about it. You're married, yes or no? Yes. There's no madrigas. How's the experience of your marriage? Now we can talk about that endlessly. So Kol Zman, we're caught up in the experiences of the marriage, and that's the marriage. Then when the experiences go down, then there's no marriage left. We might as well dissolve the marriage. Whereas when we're connected to the binary mitzvah of the marriage, we're connected to the mitzvah of the marriage, and things are going down or things are very low, then the question is, well, how do I fix this? Not, well, it's finished, because if I don't love her, if my marriage is based on love and I don't love her, then there's no marriage. Whereas if my marriage is based on marriage and I don't love her, now I'm going to start trying to work out ways that I can love her. It's also the same with me as well, my connection to myself. If I'm connected to myself on this level of just I am, and then I do something wrong, well, now I just have to work out how to fix it. I'm not bad. That's the difference. I heard Rav Yaakov Weinberg, as I'll say, the difference between Yiddisher tshuva and Goyisher guilt is that Yid says, what I did was so wrong, I have to fix it. How can I fix it? Goy says, oi, I'm so bad. A lot of Yidden also say that as well. But that's connecting to the binary nature of the fact that you exist will allow you to process when things go wrong, and you won't lose hope. And when things go right, you won't become a Balgaiva, because you're just connected to you, and there's no madrigas in that. There's just you, finished. All the madrigas are very secondary to you. So now, what are the milers? What's the benefit then of investing love and fear and energy into the mitzvah? So it's interesting, because that could be described in Hasidus as the chachona for the mitzvah, meaning it's not essential for the mitzvah. You don't have to do a mitzvah with love and fear. You have to do the mitzvah, you have to put on a mezuzah where the mezuzah needs to be, according to the halachas, and that's how it needs to be. Love and fear, that's great, but what's the point of it? And that's also in the word chayin, because the idea of preparing for a mitzvah, the hachanas for the mitzvah, is lahachin, which is the same root, chaf nun, lahachin, to prepare. So it's that same chayin. So what's the connection? So the actual investing of energy into the mitzvah is the putting of your qualities into the mitzvah. The Maisa mitzvah is the essence of you that we're putting into the mitzvah. You can't talk about that. It's like a rock. That's why we call Hashem a tzur, by the way, a rock. We're relating to him on that level, that primary level of just being. So our relationship to the Maisa mitzvah is this kind of monolithic connection, which is of me, mamash. When I'm doing the Maisa mitzvah, it's about the essence of myself. All my emotions that I bring to the mitzvah, that's the qualities that I'm bringing to the mitzvah. And we have a chiyuv to bring those to the mitzvah as well. So let's answer up now what Rabbi Yossi said. Because Rabbi Yossi said, the chassid, he said, Shochein Tov. Rabbi Yossi Omer Shochein Tov. You could read that as Shechein Tov. That the Chein is Tov. The essence of Chassidus is that you don't miss out on the Chein, not with a Chaf, not with a Ches, with a Chaf. You don't miss out. In fact, you stay vitally aware, intensely aware the whole time of the essence. That's Shechein Toiv. That the Chein, that part of the mitzvah, that Maisa mitzvah, the actual act of the mitzvah, which is connecting to the actual binariness of you, the fact that you are, which is connecting to the binary nature of Hashem, the fact that he is, that's the essence of Chassidus. That's mamash the essence of Chassidus. So Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, who was the Chassid, he said Shechein Toiv, that the Chein is Toiv, that in the actual act of the mitzvah, you bring to it the Ava and the Yira 100%. But stay cognizant that that's a Tosefes. That's an extra, that's a bonus. That's the hidden mitzvah. But the actual mitzvah, the Maisa mitzvah, that's the ultimate connection with the Rabbanu Shalom. And that's the inyan of Dir B'tach Toilim, and that's the inyan of Techias and Mason. That the mace, which is just, it just is, or it isn't, it's a binary inyan again, is the bringing down of Hashem's essence into this world. And that's why in this world we have Elohim Acherim, because and it's the same inyan, but just on a slightly different angle, is that all the worlds above us, when you go into the worlds above us, everything screams Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. Even in even in the higher levels of Olam HaMaisa, in the Ruchnius worlds, you're aware of the Rabbanu Shalom. There is elements of self, but you're aware of the Rabbanu Shalom. They're basically differing levels of translucency, of transparency. They become more and more transparent. The higher up in the worlds you go, the more transparent they become, and the more you realize that they are dependent on God for existence. Masha'en came our world, which proclaims Aniva Afsi Oid, it says I am and nothing else is. That is like Hashem's existence. Hashem is, not because something's causing him to be, he just is. All the worlds above us, they are, but they say, look, Hashem's causing me to be. How godly is that? That's not very godly. Again, that's qualities of God. That's his qualities. You see through the qualities to the person behind them. but there's the one who has the qualities. There's the place in which the qualities exist. So the higher worlds, you see through all of them, and they're saying, I'm a dependent reality. I depend on God to be. Whereas in this world, which is binary, this world screams, Aniva Afsi Oid. I don't depend on anything. You look at my mouse, and my mouse says I was here yesterday, and I'm here right now, and I'm going to be here tomorrow. There's no hint that this is being generated. Kol rega v'rega, v'ayda Rabbanishon. There's no hint to that whatsoever. It is being, but there's no hint to it. And that's the connection that this world has to the Rabbanishon. It's the same concept, it just is. It's completely defined and delineated in time and space. Therefore, it just is. As we said, that's Chain, Kaf Nun. And that's exactly, again, a hint to the essence of God. And that's why the final revelation, or the final part of this whole thing of creation is called Tchias Amesim, where Hashem comes down into the world of Misa. Why? Because at the highest level, it's not even a level. See, this is the difference between Ein Sof and Or Ein Sof. Or Ein Sof is koilel everything. It's like, just like white light is koilel all of the colors. Or Ein Sof is koilel everything. Ein Sof, you can't say that. The ultimate jump in reality was from the Ein Sof to the Or Ein Sof. And in that sense, the Ein Sof, or the reason why it's called Or Ein Sof is because it's going out. That's what Or does. Or light goes out. Ein Sof itself doesn't go out. It's contained. It just is.
Shmuel, can I jump in here with a question before I run off?
Yeah, please.
Are you waiting? I don't know how this is my first time in this year. Do you wait to the end for questions? Are you happy for us to
ask a question?
Okay, fine. No, okay, I just want to go back a minute to what you said about the Ma'aseh Mitzvah. You made it very easy for us.
Go on.
Did you do the mitzvah or did you not?
Yes.
In that moment you did the mitzvah, it's the ultimate achdus with Hashem. Are you saying Av and Yira is kind of like a distraction in a way?
No. I'm not. I'm saying it can be if you get caught up in the pleasure of the actual experience of the mitzvah, and it becomes a selfish thing. Then the mitzvah wasn't as pure. There's madregas again. There's different.
Okay, but I'm personally on quite a low madrega, and I want to get Ava and Yira in my mitzvahs.
Absolutely. But what we're saying is the foundation of the mitzvah. These are embellishments of the mitzvah. The foundation of the mitzvah is the Ma'aseh Mitzvah. Like, again, you can have all the Ava and Yira you want of the mitzvah, but if you don't do the actual mitzvah, if you don't say Kriya Shema B'zman, and according to the way that Chazal told us to say it, you've got all the Ava and Yira in the world. That didn't add to the mitzvah. Maybe it was a different mitzvah.
A simple guy like me, who I believe I do the mitzvah, my focus should be on the Ma'aseh Mitzvah or on the Ava and the Yira.
Your avoider is the Ava and Yira, but you have to stay cognizant of the fact that the Ma'aseh Mitzvah is of Ikka importance. That's the Ikka. Don't think that you're lighting Shabbos candles to have an experience. You're lighting Shabbos candles because it's a mitzvah to light Shabbos candles. Is there an experience? Good, enjoy it. But don't get caught up in thinking that the mitzvah is there to provide you with some kind of experience. The mitzvah is the most foundational expression of God there could be. And that is enough unto itself. That's why if you do the mitzvah without Av and Yira, you're Yotzi. If you don't do the mitzvah, you have Av and Yira, you're not Yotzi. So the avoider is the Av and Yira. But never think that it's because of your experience that you're doing the mitzvah. This is the whole point. The mitzvah is everything. And if you can stay connected to that, you're basically a big tzaddik.
it could be I don't experience much Ava and Yira in my mitzvahs.
So this Torah is exactly for you. This is the whole.
Yeah, it's a chizuk. I'm saying you're making it easy for me.
Well, you should still be striving for Ava and Yira, and that comes from learning the right Sfar, being connected to the right people, etc., thinking about the right things, having the right conversations. But this is the whole point. This is what the Chiddush, this is what the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, is that at the Madrega that we're at, he's got now a bunch of Yidden being over him on the level of the Tzaddik Gamor. He's got a whole army of Jews who, for the first time in history, because we're not being distracted by our experience of the mitzvah, he's got a whole nation of Yidden serving him on the level of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and Aaron HaKohen.
It feels like an amazing. I love what you're saying. It feels like a Dan Chavschus, but I don't regularly experience Ava and Yira in my mitzvahs.
Okay, so you need to work on that.
Okay, but so I'm not on a level of Tzaddik Gamor. Is that correct?
No, this is the whole point. This is exactly the point. Is because you're still doing the mitzvahs without any experience of love and fear. Now you're connected to mamash the Maisa mitzvah, and that's the real level of the Tzaddik Gamor. That's
why should I strive for anything else then? I'm happy with where I'm at then.
No, because you have
I'm happy when I do a mitzvah. It's mamish. I'm very happy when I daven mincha and a minyan and all these wonderful things.
But Hashem also needs your Ava and Yira. That's another part of what he needs from you is your Ava and Yira. That's the bringing of your qualities to him. So you're giving him the essence of yourself, but you need to also bring your qualities to him as well. So the avoid it is with Ava and Yira. That it's not a heta, you're not potter, but it's it is a massive chizuk. It's a massive chizuk to say that the reason this world has become so distracting, and that the Ava and Yira has kind of been sucked away, means that we're having revealed to us the ultimate service. So there has to be the lower levels of service as well as the Ava and Yira. But we're now zoicha to mamash, and if you can really connect to that, then the Ava and Yira will come back anyway. If you really meditate on this.
That's what I was sort of thinking a little bit. The little bit I do get of Ava and Yira. It's coming from what you're talking about right now. It's like I did the Maisa mitzvah and Gavaldik, and there's Simcha and it's not this big thing though, in my mind, Ava and Yira is this Aaron Kohen, spilling the oil out of the menorahs, and that doesn't tend to happen to me.
That's the point. He didn't.
Yeah, but he was able. He controlled himself. I don't have to control myself.
He didn't control himself. It wasn't himself that he had to control. There were two other mitzvahs that he was involved in, which was love and fear. This is the whole point. So by the tzaddik she'ena gamor, you've got a human being serving God. So you've got the man who's got his love and fear doing the mitzvah. By Aaron, who was so exalted, you've got the man, but that's doing the mitzvah. And then you've got the man doing Ava and the man doing Yira. So he was able to put the Ava and Yira to the side and connect just to the mitzvah, and just do the mitzvah, which is that's who we are. That's where we are. He was just revealing. That was just a revelation of the situation. Because he had also the lower levels of Ava and Yira, but he was connected on the level of Atzilus, which is the Maisa Mitzvah Mamash, which is the level of know me, just according to the halacha. That's the mitzvah on the level of Atzilus. Yeah, that's the Tzaddik Gamor. He was also involved in the Ava and Yira of Bria and Yetzirah, etc. But the actual simple coordinates of the mitzvah, which create the Ratzon Hashem, that was at the level of Atzilus. And that's the level that we're serving at. If we're zoicha to any other madregas of Ava and Yira, then that's great. And we have to be working for that, because we also need to be giving that to the Rebbeinu Shalom. And that's why we said lahachin is from the same lashon of chayin, is giving the hachonas to the Rebbeinu Shalom. You with me?
I am. I'm so sorry I have to go, Shmuel. I enjoyed every second. It's nice to meet everyone. Will you text me when there's one of these shirim? I like this.
I'll put you on the WhatsApp chat.
And Melech David, I want to say that the Melech David, I think you are the Tzaddik Gamor. I just want to say, because of course you have, Yira and Ava. You've had that, but you've now put that aside. Of course you've had that. You put it aside. So you're like Aaron Cohen in my eyes.
I appreciate you, and it's gewaldig. But like part of me just feels a bit lazy at the same time, like.
Then you're not understanding this deeply. If you understand this deeply, you would be inspired in a way that you couldn't contain yourself. So you're not feeling lazy, because I know you do understand this, and it gives you the fact that you're in Manchester in 2024 still serving God. Yeah, that's the ride. This is where we're at. This is exactly the point. So we'll finish off. That was okay, Melech.
Take care, everyone.
So that's basically Rabbi Yossi HaKoyen, the Chassid's message. Shechein Tov, that we need the Ava, we need the Yira, we need all of the bells and whistles with our Avodah. But always be cognizant of how choshev the Maisa Mitzvah is. That's really what Hasidus is. Staying connected to essence. It's the essence of me, it's the essence of the relationship, and it's the essence of the Avodah Shalom. And that's always included in the actual Maisa Mitzvah. That's the message of Hasidus, how I've understood it. Bezrat Hashem. Any questions?
Yeah. So I have two questions. One is, you said that there are different levels of infinity. Can you explain that? Or is that the Or Ein Sof versus Ein Sof?
No. You can't call Ein Sof infinity. You can call all Ein Sof infinity.
Why can't you call Ein Sof? I mean, why can't you call Ein Sof infinity?
Because Ein Sof...
It's beyond infinity?
Yeah, exactly. Just like you can't call it infinity, you can't call it finite. If you can call it infinity, then you have to call it finite as well.
Okay.
It's like
how are there levels then to infinity?
That's just it's a shortened version of Ein Sof, Ein Haschala, Ein Toich. It has no end, but it also has no beginning, and it has no middle. It's just not. It's Chain. It is. It just is. So
it's beyond. There's no word to it. It's just beyond.
Even saying beyond gives
beyond is because
beyond means it's
distance.
Beyond this. So it already has.
Right.
You can't even say that. You just can't, there's nothing. All you can say is it is.
Okay.
That's Chaim. Yeah.
So then, how do you describe? You said that there's levels to infinity. Is that what we're talking about? Or that's a different concept.
Well, infinite levels of infinity would be like this. Do you understand photography at all?
A little bit.
So when you understand the idea of exposure, when you expose
a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's say you have a shutter speed, yeah.
Right. Sure.
That's how long the shutter is open for.
Right.
If the shutter is open for 1 second, the photographic material goes white.
Okay.
That's the end. It can't get any whiter than white.
Okay.
If it was open for half a second, it would be grey. If it was open for a second, it would be even darker. Yeah. But once it's white, that's it, finished.
Okay.
So now once it's 10 seconds and it's white, it's white, done. What about when it's 30 seconds?
Still white.
What about when it's a minute?
It's still white.
Yeah. 1,000 light years. Still light.
Right, still white.
That's the concept of infinity having levels to it, in that from the lower perspective, the level above it appears to be infinity, whereas that level is finite compared to the level above it. But to me, everything above it seems like infinity. It's all the same. Whereas in reality, it goes all the way to the top, where there's this, what we call the Or Ein Sof, which we would call infinite, but that's not Ein Sof. Ein Sof you can't call infinite.
So would this be correct that infinity is almost like an infinite scale that has no beginning, has no end, but there's a scale to it because you can just chop up points. This point of infinity, this point of infinity, this point. It's open for 1 minute, for 10 minutes, for 1,000,000 light years. It's still infinite. It goes on and on. But the Or Ein Sof, you can't even put that scale there.
I don't know if you can put that scale on. No, you're saying that Ein Sof, you can't put that scale there.
Oh yeah, so Ein Sof, you can't put the scale
I don't think you can put that scale on the Or Ein Sof as well. I'm not.
Can you pick a point of the Or Ein Sof? Like you talked about the idea of a dot. Can you put a dot on the Or Ein Sof?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but the
Okay.
Chaim says that Hashem made a point and opened up a hole in it. So he said he made a point in the middle of it. That's what the Otzos Chaim says. That's where the Chalal Panui came, in the middle of the or Ein Sof. So I'm not qualified to talk about this. But
Can I ask you one more question?
yeah, but just importantly, that the concept of levels of infinity is that idea of, from my level, the level above me appears to be infinite when in fact it's actually finite, but it appears to be infinite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question was this idea of Ma'aseh Mitzvah and an Abba and Yira, and that Aaron separated himself from the Abba and Yira, right? And it was just transparent to it. Is that, if you were to explain that graphically, meaning as an image, is this, I'm trying to figure out how to think about this. Would it be that if we're starting at 0, let's say in a cup from 1 to 100, 0 to 100, if we're at 0, we do Ma'aseh Mitzvah of Av and Yira at 0, versus Aaron, who has a full cup, 100% of Av and Yira, he's beyond the cup of that, and he's doing Ma'aseh Mitzvah. Are those two Ma'aseh Mitzvahs down where they're at 0 or over 100% overflowing? The Av and Yira, he was beyond at capacity, or let's say full of it. Is that Ma'aseh Mitzvah then the same? Is it almost like a circle that comes back, or they're worlds apart? How do you, because when you say that we're doing the Ma'aseh Mitzvah at the same level as the Tzaddik Gamur, it seems like we're worlds apart, versus what I'm hearing is almost like.
No, I think you could look at it more like this, yeah? The Tzaddik She'eina Gamur, who's a man serving God with Av and Yira, he's coming to the mitzvah. The mitzvah's the Ma'aseh in front of him, yeah? Let's say that's the Kli. The emotions are within him.
Okay.
So you can't put them to the side because that's him. That's
okay.
him. Okay. The image of Aaron when he's doing the mitzvah, because there really was no him, was a man at this point. He was juggling 3 mitzvahs. He was juggling the Ma'aseh mitzvah of lighting the menorah. Then there was the mitzvah of Ava and the mitzvah of Yira. They were mitzvahs to him. They weren't his own emotions. So because the mitzvahs to him, he was like doing them the way he was doing the menorah. So in this case, these two mitzvahs were so overpowering, they would have messed up the Ma'aseh mitzvah. So he was able to put them to the side and just do the Ma'aseh mitzvah. So we're really the same. So we're really the same as that. We just didn't have to put those two things to the side. We're the
same for the Ma'aseh mitzvah. We're not the same at the levels of Abba and Yira, but we're the same as the Ma'aseh mitzvah.
Infinitely.
Is it infinite? Right.
But the actual Ma'aseh mitzvah, like I'm not a Kohen, but Yitzi could light the menorah just like Aaron could have lit the menorah. Just like I could put a mezuzah on my door exactly in the same way
as Moshe Rabbeinu.
The mezuzah on his door. Same thing. So all they're doing is letting go of this mitzvah and doing that mitzvah the same way we would be doing that mitzvah. It's like the whole world starts making sense, because otherwise it's like, Hashem, why have you made it so hard? Why have we fallen so far? Why are we so disconnected? And it's like, why then you put these stupid devices in everyone's hands and everyone's pockets? It was bad enough. And now you give us the internet, and now you give us the smartphone, and now you give us AI. And it's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that to us? And this now makes it all make sense. It's because he's saying, I want you to get rid of that distraction. Your avenue is gone. You just do the mitzvah, mamash, just do the mitzvah. And it's such a chizuk, because to get the avenue is so elusive and it's so difficult. And it's like, wow, I'm trying and it's just not happening. It's like, okay, keep trying, but just remember that's not what it's about. It's about the Ma'aseh mitzvah. That's such a chizuk, such an unbelievable, at least to me anyway. I mean, the Lubavitcher Rebbe felt that, so that's his whole thing that he's giving over. Okay, shkoyach. Thanks for a good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos.
Safe
Shabbos.
travel back.